Hello again, everyone. Edwin Learnard back once again in this YouTube astrological segment. I'm going to be talking about Taurus Ascendant. And first off, what I want to talk about as far as Taurus rising goes is that as far as the appearance and physical body, Taurus rising can be generally short to middle stature. Um, the hair is often dark in color, it's often brown. Um, the hair could be profuse, wavy, and sometimes curly. The eyes are often large, and the eyes themselves, the whites of the eyes, can be very shiny and very lustrous. That's a distinctive, I'd say, characteristic of Taurus rising. The lips can be thick, the face can be full, the nose, the nostrils can be very wide, distended. They may appear to be flaring. Taurus rising generally has short arms and legs. The complexion can be like a dark, swarthy type complexion. Um, the thing too is Taurus rising often can have a thick neck, thick and short neck as well. And naturally, you gotta factor in, ethnicity into this race, and because there's certain ethnicities that some of this would not apply to, but this is just a general physical description. I want to also add that some of you may remember, when I did my, rising sign series when I first started my channels back in 2012. That I did, some rising sign. I did the rising sign series. I did a video for each rising sign, but they were somewhat concise, and I wanted to make these a little bit more descriptive. So, anyway, the next and another thing, as far as Taurus rising, with as far as the physical appearance, the shoulders can be broad and thick and rounded. The hands can be actually squarish in terms of their shape. And anyway, and the eyes themselves can often be blue in color as well. The eyebrows can be broad. And the thing about Taurus, the shape of the head, Taurus rising, can just be a roundish shape, could be squarish, but it usually has, a short, type of look to it. You got to factor in other things in the chart as well. Of course, you take renowned NFL player Aaron Rodgers, who has Taurus rising, but he has a Sagittarius sun, and his head is fairly, oblong and long in shape. So you got to look at the whole, picture when you're delineating, something in astrology. And for Taurus rising, the outer demeanor and personality, well, can be very persistent, patient, persevering, stubborn, stable, trustworthy, stolid, very determined, plotting, and relaxed. Fixed ascendants often don't let extraneous things affect their task, their goal, the aspiration, whatever it is they're doing at the time. And Taurus may, I'd say, is actually the most fixed sign of the zodiac, because you're talking about a fixed sign, and it's also, it's Earth. So they're really just kind of, they're right in the ground. I mean, they are just very grounded, and I should know something about that, being a Taurus ascendant. Of course, I also have my Taurus rising at 22 degrees, which some of you may know is a critical degree in astrology, so to give more significance and emphasis on that. And Taurus rising people generally come through on what they say they're going to do. And going back to renowned NFL quarterback Aaron Rodgers, he had made some semi-proclamation one time. It was back at, I believe, 2016, and he said he thought it was at least conceivable that the Packers could win their last 6 regular season games. A lot of people didn't think that was attainable, but they wound up doing that. And but anyway, now the first impression of the rising signs connected with the first impression. And Taurus rising people may actually appear monotonous or boring on a first impression, but also very calm, composed, impassive, quiet, taciturn, and also very loyal and steadfast, whether it's with, a task, it's a work assignment, whether it's with people. That is generally how they are. And Taurus rising on a first impression could also be, of course, obstinate and stubborn, but at the same time, very reliable. And they are, ones that have, that quiet, strength about them. And they're the kind of people that will help out, be very composed in terms, a crisis situation and helping others, I would say as well. Um, Another thing too is that the ascendant or rising sign is also connected with one's outlook on life. And Taurus rising, can have very down to earth outlook on life. Very pragmatic, practical. Taurus rising people are often realists. They're not ones generally to do anything outlandish or something that seems outrageous that doesn't seem attainable. Their outlook generally is one that's very sensible, and their approach to life can be one that's deliberate, slow, steady, methodical, as far as that approach to life goes. And just very realistic people in general. And also, too, the rising sign or ascendant is also associated with the early childhood. And for Taurus, the early childhood can be one, may have been one that was very peaceful, tranquil, calm, stable, and also very predictable. But at the same time, remember that, when Taurus people can be sensitive to noise, because remember that Taurus governs the senses. And, when a Taurus is a child, a baby, very little, the Taurus rising person, I should say, they may be more sensitive to noise. And, I probably was having a Taurus ascendant more sensitive to noise and getting, maybe woke up a little bit easier than the average person. It might have, exasperated me a little bit more so than most others. The early childhood also for Taurus rising may have been one with some artistic expression. It could have been maybe Taurus rising looks for money a little bit more when they're younger as opposed to the other ascendants on average. And also too, the ascendant is also connected with new beginnings. So, Taurus rising people, as far as their new beginnings may go, can be ones that are very, slow, methodical, and deliberate. They may take their time before starting a new project or endeavor. And the thing too is, it's also, it could be ones that are involved in formulating, plans to make more money in general. As far as fields go or professions, they can be associated with agriculture, cultivation, architecture, geology, carpet laying. I'm doing work as a stockbroker, something connected with art, which can cover a wide divergence of things, whether it would be, painting, drawing, sculpting, abstract art, animated art, as some examples. And also, too, the ascendant is connected, strongly with our energy and vitality. And Taurus, rising can have very good powers of endurance, often very latent energy behind the powers of stamina and endurance. And, the physically, Taurus rising, Taurus is connected to the throat, the neck, the thyroid, and the esophagus. So those could be sensitive places for Taurus. So Taurus rising people may have more susceptibility to colds, than the other rising signs on average. And so, sore throats, things of that nature, thyroid, or there's some kind of thyroid disease, or those are things that Taurus rising can be susceptible to. Now, also too, You know, the ascendant first house cusp rising sign is also associated with a grandparent and people that are prominent in our early childhood. So those people, you know, may have been, some of them may have been Taurus, sun, moon, or ascendant people, or embody those characteristics. Now, it's interesting, I had a grandmother that was a Taurus sun, right? And you know, it was the mother of my father, and very interesting how that worked out. And you know, I have again Taurus on the first house cusp. And anyway, people, that'll conclude this YouTube astrological segment. Until next time, Edwin Learnard saying, stay up.